Hi Gemini, hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your messages for the 1st of July through the 7th. Let's get right into things. So we're going to start off pulling a Celtic cross spread for general. I'm just going to connect it to relationship, family situation, career, money, whatever. And then I'm going to pull a separate 7-card ellipse spread for relationship. Okay, so I'll timestamp for those below. Okay. So we have this crazy T-square hitting this week. Actually, we have two. We have one Saturn, Aquarius, Uranus, and Taurus, right? So we know about that, right? We've been talking about that. Then we have Mars and Leo coming in on the 3rd. That's going to be a thing. And then on the 7th, we have Venus in Leo also going into T-square with Saturn in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus. So a lot of frustration. I'm just going to kind of work in the astrology as we go along. So let's just see what we have here. Okay, Gemini friends. So you know, we've had Taurus and Aquarius in that 9th house of belief systems, of your moral code, your moral compass. A lot of you for higher education, foreign land, foreign travel, all of that. That's been hanging out there. Right now it's squaring this Uranus energy in Taurus in your 12th house of the subconscious. So there's a lot of energy that's going to be going on under the surface for you right now, Gemini. There's going to be this unbelievable push for you to break free. Now, I think this is going to be very good for you ultimately, even though it's going to be very difficult on the front end. Because first of all, I feel like a lot of you are having issues with siblings and extended family right now. I feel like that because we have Mars and Leo in the 3rd house of siblings and extended family, and then we're going to have Venus stepping into that Leo energy also in the 3rd house, having to do with siblings and extended family. It also has to do with your neighborhood and where you live. It also has to do with all modes of communication, finalizing the negotiation of something, signing on the dotted line. And it also has to do with learning something new from like a ground level stage, even if you're the one teaching it or if you're the one learning something new. But I feel like all of this is going to kind of be connected to your 9th house of your belief system. I feel like there are shifts going on, right, Gem? Because right now with the Saturn energy in the 9th, it's been working on in there since December rather. So what's going to start happening now is whatever has developed any sort of like cobwebs as far as like your belief system, it's time to go in and just clean them off, clean the windows, right? In that house of belief system, your moral code, your moral compass, your personal philosophy, and having this square your house of dreams, 12th house. Look, the 12th house is many things, right? But it is our subconscious. It is where we dream. It is where we're very, very spiritual, but it's also where we can get in our own way. So I just feel like with Uranus there, it's like you're going to be recognizing where you've been getting in your own way, and there's going to be clarity. Even though it's hard to have clarity in the 12th house, I feel like with Uranus in there, it's just going to be like, I got to get out of here. I have to break free from whatever it is that I've been keeping myself sort of almost imprisoned in. I mean, I know that sounds very dramatic, but and of course it's more like an 8 of Swords kind of thing, right? Where it's this self-imprisonment sort of thing. But you want to say no, you don't want to have to deal with this stuff anymore. And the thing is that 9th house of belief system is going to be in opposition with that 3rd house, that Mars and Leo energy, having to do with your siblings. But because Mars and Leo also incites a lot of nostalgia, there can be something very nostalgic going on, having to do with your siblings or having to do with your neighborhood or where you live. Anything like that. So just something to keep in mind, right? But with that Venus energy stepping in at the end of the week on the 7th and it being in this T-square, think about Venus as the way you view your life, and it's going to be in this heavy square with Saturn. So you're going to feel a lot of restriction and a lot of delay. Like you have in your mind's eye the job you want, the relationship you want, fill in the blank, whatever it is. And it's like so close to you that you can taste it. But for some reason, you can't work it out right now. There's delay, there's frustration. And just know, right? Anger levels are going to be high. Some of you might feel like the world's against you. Some of you are going to feel like the rug's been pulled out from under your feet. Things like that, right? But it is just this tension and these roadblocks, but you're gonna feel like this resistance to change, Gemini, because the thing is this: where you know you have to change, where you know you have to do those things, it's so uncomfortable right now. It's like you're sitting down and saying, damn it, do I really have to? Come on, really? Do I have to? Even though you know it's the right thing, even though it's very loud and in your face, the stuff that's not working. It's got to be changed by the end of the year. And this is the thing. This is where it's like, come on, let's go. And Chiron's going to be like, come on, honey, I got your back. Let's go. Let's heal this thing. Let's move past this thing. Let's go, right? And really, that's good. That's Gemini archetypes are going to be feeling that. Now, I don't know you and I don't know your personal chart, so I can't speak to whatever could be aspecting in addition. So if you're not having this experience, that might be something to consider, is looking into what is happening in your chart. All right, so let's get into things here. You right now, you're the wheel reverse, upside down. So the wheel reverse can mean that while you might feel like at the moment, you feel like you're experiencing some maybe not such great luck, it does indicate an end to a challenging time period for you, Gem, which is great. It's great. You're going to experience closure in some way, right? Now, some of you may experience this as having a lack of confidence, though, in your own intuition and decision-making skills because something isn't really working out for you in the moment, right? You have to just resolve to work very honestly with this situation and just be persistent in working out or toward whatever it is, whatever goal that it is that you're working through, whether it has to do with something at work, with work, a relationship, some sort of family situation, whatever it is, right? But this is where you're at right now. But there's a turning point here. Even in the reverse, the wheel does indicate this energy of a turning point. Something needs to be addressed in order before something can be moved forward. The current challenge is just that. The current challenge is being able to have some healing. So for some of you, there is a challenge in things being better, getting better right now, after or during what seems to feel like a difficult time for you. Now, for those of you who are resonating with this for a relationship, this does indicate that you're meant to be with somebody. If you're alone right now, you're meant to find a soulmate right now, but because it's a challenge, something is coming up in the area of relationship for you that can be very, very problematic. And it could have a lot to do, keeping it real, it could have something to do with the way in which you communicate, Gemini, right? Because the third house where Leo is and then Venus is going to be there, well, they are together, but where it's going to also be squaring Saturn and Uranus is in your house, right? It's that you are the third house, you're the landlord of the third. So it could be that, right? But this is a very beautiful energy, though, if it has to do with unchallenged, having to do with money, right? But there might be some challenge, Gemini, in your life having to do with money. If you're not resonating with this as relationship, where you're feeling very unfortunate when it comes to money situation right now, where you feel like the work that you do is maybe not paying off, or you're not being recognized in the way that you feel like you should be. Others of you know that you have more talent to put on the table, but for some reason you're not really able to push it out there. Now, there could be a time thing. It could be because of a shortage of time. You're too busy with other aspects of life right now. Others of you may be experiencing it as just being plain old good old scared, right? To put your stuff out there more in a particular way. Some of you may be afraid to move. There might be these issues, or you want to move, but either the right house is not coming along, or everything is just so expensive, or there's some sort of issue with moving, right? Or a couple of those things could be going on. But those are all like the star as the challenge. That is what this could ultimately end up meaning. Now, the basis of this situation is the Hierophant reverse. So there could be some sort of situation going on having to do with a marriage. There could be some sort of situation going on with a business partnership. But this is about being misled by a morally compromised person, right? Somebody that you're dealing with in your life just being very, very self-interested. Maybe you are Gemini. I don't know. Maybe you're dealing with somebody who's like that. But I feel like it's more that you're dealing with somebody who's just very, very self-interested. And it really is best in this energy to tap into your own intuition and walk your own path and not wait for somebody to resolve a situation, handle the situation, do whatever you need to do for this situation to be better and work out best for you. In other words, don't put the ball in somebody else's court if you can help it. For whatever situation this is going on, family situation, intimacy. Some of you may be dealing with a little bit of both. But it really is about walking your own path, right? The Hierophant in the reverse. So we have in the past the Seven of Pentacles. And the Seven of Pentacles is actually a really nice energy. It's putting a lot of work into something. So doing a lot of hard work, being super patient, feeling in your bones that there's potential for success, and you feeling like, all right, I don't want to give up. I'm almost there. I just have to keep at it. I have to keep at it. I have to keep at it, right? Now, that could have to do with your career, some sort of financial situation, or even a relationship where it's like, all right, you know what? Things might not be perfect. What the heck does perfect even mean? I'm just going to keep at it, keep at it. But there's some sort of turning point, but somebody is very sort of self-interested, and you're having a very hard time really kind of dealing with that right now, right? Because the present situation, you're confused. We have the Hangman, and this is a confusing energy. So on the one hand, you're in the space of waiting because you're trying to get a different perspective. Because many of you could be in this space where you're wondering if somebody wants the same thing out of relationship as you. Even though they might say they want X, Y, and Z, your intuition is poking at you saying, but do they really want that? Because their actions are saying otherwise to me, kind of thing. So you could be in this space where you're just not sure. Now, are you waiting for them to commit more, what's the word I want to say? Commit with more, commitment. We have commit with more commitment. I mean, really, at the end of the day, or are you the one who needs to have greater resolve when it comes to commitment? And, is somebody waiting around for you to say, yes, I 100% want that, right? A lot of you can be resonating with it like this, but you could feel like, though, in order for a situation to work, whether this is in relationship, a work situation, a family situation, you feel like you're going to have to somehow sacrifice something that matters to you. Whatever that is, something that you want in relationship, maybe something financial, maybe something having to do with your schedule, something. And that could create a lot of confusion, right? It doesn't mean that you don't want something, but you want things to be a little more equitable. But there's just this element of confusion right now, it does seem, right? So now the suggested approach is the Nine of Cups. So this is about focusing on your happiness, manifesting your wishes, and really focusing on that. And I know a lot of people get very confused about that whole idea, and I don't blame you. What the hell does that even mean? Oh, if I think it, it's going to happen. I've had this conversation, this monologue, I guess I should say, right? On my channel just a couple of times. What does that even mean, manifesting all this? A lot of people are like that. I don't believe in it. Whether you believe in it or not, one thing we could all, I think, recognize, right, if you're watching tarot or you listen to astrology or anything like that, is energy is real, right? So what we put out, we are going to send out those waves, right, and create that energy around us. So we have to be very decided and pointed in how we frame things, even in our inner dialogue, so that we can bring things to ourselves that ultimately, maybe not right away, but ultimately will end up bringing us to what it is that we want, right? We can't just say, I want to be a billionaire, right? Because then you're going to stay in a space of wanting. You understand? And it's kind of silly to say, I am a billionaire if you're not. You could just change the language of it and, and just say, the idea of being a billionaire to me is part of my reality, right? And my intentions are there, right? So at least just setting your intentions forward moving, right? And then you do silently whatever you have to do to make that happen. You understand? So it's about diligent work and approach moving forward. Some of you may have to leave relationships. Others of you are going to have to make the decision to not be single anymore and open yourself up to relationship in a very honest way. Some of you are going to have to get very honest with your family, you know, and really, what are you dealing with? How real is all of that, right? A lot of you are going to have to get very, very real about, you know, where are you being poked at to learn something new, to approach something differently, having to do with your career or your finances. So wherever that area is in your life, you're being pushed and prodded here to handle something in a little bit of a different way. And so really, action is the name of the game here, rather than just thinking about something, right? Because there definitely is this call forward. There's no question. I mean, these are the external energies that are surrounding you, or this could indicate others in your life, depending on your situation. But Sun and Aries energy, this is great. This is one of the good fortune energies, right? This is about thriving business. This indicates a very busy, intense period, an indicator for a wedding, for those of you in that space, or at least a very important relationship. This is about moving on to realize your plans, whatever those are. Okay, so you might be dealing with some sort of unconventional person or some sort of unconventional situation, you know, doing some sort of very unconventional work, your living situation being very unconventional and you loving every bit of it, right? But there is this element of uniqueness that's sort of surrounding you right now, and just embrace it. Just embrace it. But balance is very important right now with the Three of Wands. Whenever we're talking about wands, we always need to have like a lot of balance. But also another thing with the Three of Wands, well, two things. One, the Three of Wands is really very much turning your back on the past, not in a mean way or malicious way, but it really is about saying whatever happened has happened up to this point, and now it's time for me to just move forward. And it's also, second thing I wanted to mention, it's you being called forth by another energy. So the three, right? Because the Three of Wands is not a lonely energy. It's you being called forth. So somebody recognizing your talents, gifts, and abilities and saying, hey, come work with us. Somebody coming along and saying, hey, you know, I really appreciate A, B, and C about you. I'd love to be in a relationship with you. But you follow what I mean? It's just this calling forth. So I feel like that is going to ultimately be a very good thing, these two energies here. What is your challenge, right? What is this block? Is this Page of Pentacles? So some of you may be feeling like very frustrated about, you know, your maybe inability in the moment to have a very auspicious beginning, having to do with finances, having to do with that business opportunity, that career opportunity, whatever it is, buying that home, selling that home, whatever it is. There's a challenge here, right? This is the personification of Earth. This is a very nice energy where your talent can shine. Your you know, it's a positive energy also for money, but it does indicate a new cycle. So it's almost like you feel like, what I'm feeling is that for you guys is that you feel like you're at the door of this next stage of your life. You're at the door, you know, pretty much more than you did last month, maybe not as much as you will next month, but you know pretty much what has to be done. Part of you really doesn't want to do the changes that have to be done. And another half of you may be kind of scared but excited about it at the same time. But yet, the energy is not ready for that new cycle to start right now. Everything is sort of shifting. Everything is shifting. But this week, then we're only doing for this week. This week is about, there's got to be some sort of resolution. In other words, things have to rise up to the top. And there's got to be a lot of conversation and a lot of figuring things out. Very necessary week. I want you to just keep saying, if you're frustrated this week, you have to say this is part of the process. It's okay. Chiron has my back. Chiron is in a beautiful, harmonious trine with this energy, and I want you to really hold on to that. Hold on to that. We have the Three of Cups in the near future. Three of Cups is a good energy for creation, guys. This is an abundant energy, a supportive energy, and healing. This is really nice for healing. So healing those relationships. Some of you may literally be healing if you haven't been feeling very well, or if you had some sort of procedure. But it's a healing energy. It's a very supportive energy as well. Really nice. We have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah. Doing some just healing and good work on yourself. you know, the Nine of Coins is a great energy because it's about independent endeavors and doing a lot of work on yourself. And then once you do that beautiful work on yourself, you creating a healthy connection for yourself after doing that solid work, whether that's in relationship, friendship, having to do with career, anything like that. But it's after doing work on yourself where it's like these blocks are lifted. But I actually want to add a little something to that. Because this nine is the number of productivity, right? It really is about integrating body, mind, and spirit. And I feel like, particularly for you, Gemini, because of that Uranus energy in Taurus in the 12th house, this idea of mind, right? And you're a very of the mind energy because you're ruled by Mercury, very quick, you know, all of that. I feel like there's going to be, for a lot of you, this sort of absolute shutting down of paradigms that are no longer working for you. And it's almost like things are naturally floating from the ethers into your consciousness about what you feel like is right for you. Whether it has to do with career, whether it has to do with a family situation, a friendship, an intimate situation, it doesn't matter. You're going to know exactly what part of your life you're going to be feeling it in. And I say it like that because I don't know your other aspects, but there's definitely sort of this rising up. Just to see the Three of Cups or the Nine of Pentacles. So let's see if we can't get some more information on that. We have the Page of Swords. We have the Empress energy. So yes, some sort of very supportive news is going to be coming in. Useful information is going to be coming in. You're going to be getting help from people around you. For some of you, this could be a new contract coming in, like a new job offer or a new contract on some sort of project that you are working on, that you're trying to bring to fruition, or any sort of agreement. This is very, very good. I really like this a lot. Because again, that Nine of Pentacles is about accomplishment and success in something that you're working on. So it makes sense that, you know, in order to get there, you're going to be getting some help. I really like it. And then we have the Empress energy, straight up Venus. She's the mother of the tarot. And this is all about growth and expansion. So some sort of information is coming in that's going to allow you to grow and expand in a particular area. Some of you may be finding out, okay, I'm finding out, Page of Swords, that I'm pregnant. I'm finding out about something to do with children. I'm finding out that that house is going through, that we're buying that business, that art project that I've been trying to push out is getting accepted, right? Something like that. Now we have, though, there is going to be this sort of emotional stalemate that you're going to be having to think about at least, right? Because you need to make a decision. You want to protect yourself. You want to do the right thing by you, right? But you also need to make a decision. So there might be something coming in, this Page of Swords energy that's coming in. They might be bringing you some sort of offer and you're like, I don't know, I have to think about it. Is this the right thing for me? But a decision about the future is needed. Beautiful. We have the Ten of Cups. Fabulous. Family contentment, benefits of security. Excellent, excellent time for family situation, partnerships, business situations. Whatever you've been working hard on will finally come together, having to do with communication, romance, business, family. Very nice. Very nice. But it's because you're making the decision to make something happen. You understand? Clarifying the Ten of Cups, we have the Strength energy. This is nice because what this tells me is that if you've been in a situation where you've been feeling tested, right, things are going to get better. There just needs to be balance. It does seem like somebody's ego needs a little bit of stroking. Not a big deal. Any tensions are because of ugly ego stuff, but not the end of the world. It's just part of the human condition. It does seem like, though, that there's going to be not only a balancing out, but also a sense of loyalty. And remember, the Strength energy is Leo, and we have Mars and Venus by the end of the week are both going to be in that Leo energy, which is going to be about nostalgia and loyalty and wanting to balance things out. We have the Two of Cups, excellent conversation going on. We love it. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. So, Gem, I feel like you're at the beginning stages of really like putting your blood, sweat, and tears into something. I just feel like that because we have the Two of Cups is a very good conversation, right? It's like sit down and let's talk about the finances. Let's talk about how is all this going to roll out. It's a positive proposal. For some of you, this could be a new passion if you're unattached. For those of you in relationship, this is a very mutually supportive energy where especially if things have been difficult, harmony returning through a really good conversation, right? So Two of Cups to me is always a good conversation card. If it has to do with a business or any sort of financial situation, it's talking about the minutia of something, like how is it going to look? What's going to be going on? You guys having that good conversation, but it going really well, right? Being very, very supportive. And we have, clarifying that, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Now just be ready to work. That's it. You're going to be focusing on responsibilities in a very diligent and hardworking way. This could indicate money or connection on its way as a result of previous efforts that you put into something. So this could be getting money for some sort of project, somebody investing in you, somebody taking the chance, hiring you for something that maybe you went to school for, anything like that. This could also indicate, for some of you, an opportunity to further your education or at least your skill set. And I feel like a lot of you may be doing that, right? Because when we have Mars and Leo and Venus and Leo, this is where the new is coming in. And in the third house in your home, that's where we learn things that are new. It's like going in like on the ground level to something, right? So I actually really, really like this. But you're going to be doing a lot of work. There's a need, though, to really maintain a logical and a diligent approach, though, to the situation. Could be a little frustrating, right? Because you want to get there already, but everything is going in a good direction. But it's only because you're going to be making calm, good choices, right? But you have to understand that it's going to require a shift in your belief system, Gem, right? Because Saturn, with that in that ninth house, it's like get the cobwebs off the outdated ideas, the outdated belief system. When you said, no, it's got to be this way, it's like dust that off and say, no, I need to look at something differently, right? Mars is that warrior energy. It rules the Emperor. The Emperor energy is all about fresh path, new perspective. I want to be a leader in my own life kind of thing, right? And that's where the newness is coming in. But we can't have that new coming in until we dust off Saturn's old dusty-ass cobwebs, right, off of our belief system and the way we've been thinking things had to be in that job, in that career, in that marriage, in that relationship, in that family situation, right? The best thing might be somewhere in the middle of your belief system and somebody else's comfort zone and their belief system. Maybe the truth and the best thing for everybody is somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? So that's what I see for that. Now let's pull a 7-card ellipse spread for a relationship. What do I want to do? I'll use these. And then I'll pull some cards at the end for those of you in separation, okay? So however these come out. Whatever messages come out. Okay. All right, so we have the past, we have the present, we have the future, we have advice, Nine of Swords, strange advice card, Gemini. We have the outcome. Ooh, we have the outcome is the Four of Wands. I like that. All right, cool. Yeah, so look, we have the past, judgment energy, having some sort of like spiritual awakening when it comes to relationship, assessing and letting go of the past, making a decision to let something go. Now, some of you, if you're still with your partner, you may have gone through a little bit of a sketchy or trippy past with this person where you guys together had to say, look, if we're going to work this out, we really need to put the past in perspective and not live in the past, right? And really reconcile certain situations that came up in the relationship that might have been very painful for you or very painful for them, and being very honest about that. Others of you, if you're not together, there may be a need for actual reconciliation if you think that the relationship is worth it, you know. But that is the judgment energy. It's Pluto. It's about endings and beginnings. It's about transformation. Now, some of you may be like, I'm so done with that person, that energy. I've tried and tried and tried, and it's just not working. So now it's time to transform yourself alone or in another direction, right? For many of you, others of you, depends on your situation. There's got to be this sort of or there was rather, right? Because this was the past, this idea of this transformation. We have to do things differently this time. So some of you may have been in the past in a space of reconnection and saying, all right, we're going to do things differently, right, this time. So we have the present, we have the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is really about, Gem, you stepping into your power, right? I mean, this is about your relationship at the time. Right now it might be pretty energized, even though there might be some sort of subtext going on underneath the relationship. What I do like about this is this could be, if you're dealing with this energy, if you're dealing with the Queen of Wands energy, this could be somebody who's very self-aware and focused on the right thing in relationship. If you're like, hell no, that is not my experience here at all. This is you recognizing what's necessary to make a successful relationship happen for you. Now, what makes it happen for you is not going to be right for the next guy, right? So at least recognizing for you, where do you feel powerful in relationship, and what do you need to feel that motivation, that passion, excited about being in relationship. There's a lot of you may be in the space where it's like, I'm not feeling it right now and I really need to address it, but you can't not see it. In other words, if you're in a relationship right now where you're not feeling very connected, you can't not see it. And that's kind of what I was talking about before, about like, just like this energy, this wall just coming down and saying, wow, what I had such a hard time addressing and releasing 6 months ago, it's not nearly as difficult right now. So it's very, very interesting kind of energy I'm getting. What do we have for the future? Thank you very much, Ten of Coins. This is about family and maturity and a deepening of commitment and having shared values. Now, for some of you, buying a home, because this is a property energy. Some of you, creating a family. Others of you, there could be something going on within your relationship regarding inheritance. This is also an inheritance energy. But then there's also sharing. So maybe sharing some sort of inheritance, right? Some sort of like 8th house energy going on there for you. But that's really, really beautiful. Now, what is the advice? The advice we have, the 9 of Swords. Now you say, what the hell kind of advice is that? It's about being honest. This is a Mars and Gemini, right? Not that you're not being honest, but it's about recognizing, Gemini, where in your life are you feeling anxious in having to do with relationship? Where are you feeling overwhelmed? Where are you worried? What are you worried about in relationship? What gets in the way of you sleeping through the night? Where do you feel like you're not responding well to the stress of the situation in relationship? And really looking at that in a very honest way and then talking about it. And just not feeling like, I can't say that, I can't do that, I can't. No. You have to address it, right? Mars and Gemini is all about, are you on the path that you're meant to be on? And so really right now, this is what you need to do. You need to sit with yourself in a very honest way and say, okay, look, is this the right thing for me? Some of you are going to say no, right? So meaning that 10 of Pentacles can come through, not this relationship, or some of you may be in the space where it's like, I have to stop being single and being so scared of opening myself up to a new relationship. It's time for me to let myself be happy. So depending on where you're at right now, right? But this 9 of Wands, 9 of Swords energy needs to be looked at, right? Now we have external and others going on here. Ace of Swords, hello. This is about getting over past obstacles, getting what you want, thoughts becoming things. This is the energy surrounding you. This is somebody who really wants to start something new, some sort of new beginning, but it's a new beginning with very clear thinking. You know what I mean? Very clear thinking, very realistic, very mentally agile. There's an element of assertiveness about this as well. Not aggressive. We don't want aggressive, but assertiveness. But because it's an ace, this can indicate a new relationship or a new start in a current relationship. But whatever's been going on cannot continue. It just can't continue. Now, what is your fear here and what is your challenge and block is the 5 of Wands. You don't want to argue. right? You're afraid of that lack of agreement. You're afraid of getting into that space where you guys are just not going to see eye to eye, Gem, because you know yourself. That stuff turns you off. Toot sweet. You don't like that. Not that you have any problem sitting and you know, like, whatever, debating with somebody. It's not like that at all, but it's like, you want to be with somebody who's like-minded, right? That's a thing that matters to Gemini. Gemini really wants to be friends with their partner, and they want to go through life, and they want to do fun things, and and it's like when you meet a lot of resistance, it's very easy for Gemini to be like, oh, this isn't working, goodbye. This isn't working, goodbye, right? And it's, you know, because Gemini is always interested in so many different things that unless somebody's going to be willing to sit down and negotiate and compromise with a Gemini energy, it's very hard for Gemini energy to feel like excited about something, right? So this is not real though, meaning this is in your internal psychology, and you're afraid of like that lack of agreement. You don't want to deal with that. You don't want to fight to be heard. You don't want any of that, right? But look what we have as the outcome. So we have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is, for many of you, a new partner coming in and opening up their heart, expressing their love. That makes sense with that Ace of Swords, right? For others of you, this is the honeymoon energy, meaning Three of Wands, you get married. Four of Wands, you're going on your honeymoon. So obviously it's a deepening of a commitment. It doesn't literally mean you're going on a honeymoon. Maybe you are going on a trip, but it's a deepening of a commitment after what could be a challenging time. It's a very celebratory energy. Somebody also valuing what it is that you bring to the table. So I really do like that. So let's pull two closing cards for this. We have a Page and a Queen, both cups. So we have the Page of Cups. So hello. Yeah, good news about an emotional aspect of your life here, having to do with relationships. So the Page comes in and announces things, right? And the Cups are all about emotion. So this could certainly be coming in and asking if you want to go out to dinner, if you want to get married, if you want to have a baby, you know, what do you want to do? Like, so there's something that's being presented to you in a way that's very kind of tender, almost like, but it's in something new. There's definitely something new about it, even if it's just a new stage in a very long-standing relationship, or this can indicate somebody new coming in. But what I like here, clarifying that, is the Queen of Cups. It's very healthy energy, right? The Queen, very intuitive, high EQ, high emotional intelligence, not afraid of intimacy, all really good. But in astrology, this is Gemini and Cancer, which is about having great, solid communication is a way to recognize what it is that you need to feel comfortable in the relationship, what it is that you need in order to feel safe, secure, and happy in the relationship, right? That's that Cancer energy. So it's Gemini, it's you guys, communication, right? And Cancer, what's needed. And some of you might even be talking, Gemini, about buying a home, selling a home, moving in together, something to do with that. Gemini and Cancer energy. So this does look nice for those of you, but it does look like you're going to be going through some sort of situation where you're going to be wondering what changes you're going to need to make if you feel like you're not in the right relationship. If you're making that decision, it does look like there's somebody new coming in sooner rather than later. So very interesting. Now for those of you who are in separation right now, let's pull a few energies here. I've committed to someone else because they don't challenge me. Time passes, but my feelings don't change, even though you no longer trust me with your heart. Let's pull one more. You brought out the best in me. I came alive in your presence. I've committed to someone else because they don't challenge me. Oh, that sounds like a soulmate connection there. Some sort of karmic connection. Lightning, sudden change, shocking news, surprise, epiphany, upheaval, transformation. Clarifying the I've committed to somebody else because they don't challenge me. And then this sudden change, shocking news, ascending, transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase, preparing for union. Gemini, I don't know. Is somebody coming back? from the past, if you're in separation. Time passes, but my feelings don't change, even though you no longer trust me with your heart. Mask. Not showing true feelings. High. Personify. Gaslighting. Pretending. So somebody, could be you, could be them, doesn't really matter. Somebody might be pretending that they feel less or differently than they actually do. Maybe to their family, their friends, maybe even to themselves, trying to escape something. Clarifying the mask, we have the golden mirror, self-absorbed narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing. Some of you are like, yes. Okay. Yeah, you don't trust them because because we got gaslighting here, which is definitely like a narcissistic tendency. We're not diagnosing anybody here, and then we have the narcissist. So somebody who's just at the very least, very self-involved for sure. You brought out the best in me. I came alive in your presence. Stabbed in the back. Heartbreak, pain, deception, shocking attacks. Whether you felt like that or they felt like that. Cassette, outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. So it does seem like, well, either you or them, or maybe the two of you together, right? Whoever this energy is, you guys had a really good connection. It was definitely like a karmic connection here. There were lessons to be learned. There were a lot of beautiful aspects to the relationship. There was something that got in the way when it came to trust. I feel like you were dealing with somebody who was not completely honest. And that was very, very challenging for you to deal with. Now, at the same time, they might be feeling this about you. It doesn't really matter. It just seems like that is the situation that's going on here. Let me just pull one Healing Yourself tarot. Let me just cut the deck and see what the deck brings. Phoenix Rising and self-sabotage. Interesting. So I feel like somebody that you've been dealing with in the past, they would really ultimately like to have this sort of transformation with you. That is what the Phoenix Rising is. It's about this sort of resurrection of something that hasn't been, right? That sort of died out, and now it's like rising up, from death's doorstep there. But there is some sort of self-sabotaging behavior that goes on with this individual. Maybe it's you, Gemini. Maybe it's them. Maybe it's a little bit of both of you, where there's a lot of emotions, but for some reason you guys can't kind of get out of your own way when it comes to dealing with the relationship in a healthy way. You might be on board. Maybe they do something that sort of triggers some energies inside of you that aren't healed. Whatever it is, it does seem like there's some sort of self-sabotage that's very kind of alive and well. And until this person is able to be a lot more honest with themselves about themselves, it doesn't seem like you would have the patience at this point in your life to even want to deal with them. So they need to have a lot more self-awareness before you would even entertain getting back with them, even though you would love that. It does seem like, but you're also not willing to compromise what it is that you want, need, and desire in the relationship. And for you don't have any patience for somebody, look, and I have to say this because Geminis do, you guys know I'm a Gemini sun, and I'm not saying this because I'm a Gemini sun. I'm saying this because, if you research this yourself, you'll find out. Gemini gets this bad rap. People who only look at the shadow manifestation of being two-faced, right? And dishonest. But it's so funny because the 3rd house and 9th house axis, that's actually considered the axis of truth between Gemini and Sagittarius. So, we have to be careful of generalities, right? Because Geminis really don't have a lot of patience for people who are, well, bullshit artists. I mean, Geminis typically can see through those people, and they don't have the patience for it. They really don't. I'm talking about healthy-minded, well-adjusted Geminis. I don't know what else is in the chart for those of you cross-watching with some sort of, twisted Gemini that you've had an experience with. But generally speaking, we do understand, in astrology, the 3rd house, 9th house is the axis of truth. So it's very, very difficult for a Gemini to have any patience with somebody who is really unaware of self It's very difficult, right? Especially when a situation may seem very obvious. So that is what I have for you, my friends. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys have an awesome week. Stay chill where you can. Don't engage in any kind of crazy situations. Again, the energy is going to be really trippy. And one last thing that I want to say, be careful of people. Be careful of changebacks, okay? Those of you who don't know, you have to understand that what Saturn always says, that we have to do whatever the squared planet that, Saturn is squaring represents. So in this case, you really have to wake up and face the truth and address the breakdown and break away from a bad situation or fix what's not working for you, having to do with the sibling situation, any modes of communication, or what it is that you're feeling deep inside, having to do with any area of your life, okay? Now, you want to be careful and be ready for some change back maneuvers. Change backs are what a lot of people kind of resort to when someone that they're close to stops playing their game. Right? The person acts poorly, towards you, but they like you better when you let them get away with things, or when you were less certain of your boundaries, Gemini, right? So if you don't play along with somebody anymore, they have to adapt to your new truth, and you're going to be having some new truth with Saturn in there, right? You adapt to your new truth in order to continue the relationship. So if they feel threatened by it, they make you the bad guy. So be ready for that, because you can have people lashing out at you out of apparent hatefulness or revenge or energy of rejection, right? And it's like, you're rejecting me, how dare you? I never loved your sorry ass anyway. I never really wanted this friendship. I always thought that you were a very troubled sibling anyway. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you're just like not doing it. But this is, if you're recognizing that you're putting your foot down and you're not allowing some level of dysfunction to continue in your life, be prepared. And this is where it can get very difficult for everyone. The challenge of change is going to require us all to anticipate that resistance that I'm talking about, and to manage our own anxiety and feelings of defensiveness, so that we could be our best self when that other person acts like an idiot out of anxiety, all right, or acts really inappropriate or really mean. So, closing, food for thought. Have an awesome week, my friends. I will see you next time. You guys take care. Bye-bye.